Good afternoon. I'm Andrea Sullivan, Executive Director of Client Services at Interbrand, and I'm fortunate enough to be joined by Brendan Jones, who's the Director of Marketing and Sales at Nissan Leaf. We're interested in learning a little bit more about the leadership position that Nissan Leaf has in terms of EV technology and some of the ways that it's changed the standards and industry practices.
Absolutely. So if you look at Nissan Leaf, let's look in the United States, and right now the Nissan Leaf is sold close to 85,000, and sometime in January it'll be 10,000. So if you look at all electric vehicles combined, regardless of manufacturer, in the history of the United States, we've surpassed that number in the modern era. So we've taken a very aggressive leadership position in bringing this technology to market.
So I'm curious about the whole notion of when you first came out with the announcement about Nissan Leaf, you had quite a few hand raisers, is what I think you called them. Mm-hmm. How have you been able to really capture their interest and help in using them as a part of the movement that you're creating?
Well, the very beginning, there was a tremendous amount of what we called the hand raisers, and the initial pool was around 250,000, and that's excellent for any auto manufacturer on any launch of any vehicle. Now, these individuals, they were serious, so through the process, when the vehicle actually got to them, before it got to them, they provided us with a depth and breadth of information on what their expectations are, what they're looking for out of the vehicle, what they expect from Nissan North America, their dealership, and the commitment that they saw us making and how we had to follow through on it, not just with the delivery of the vehicle, but in a statement about how this affects sustainability from a corporate perspective, our dependence on foreign oil, from a green perspective, an eco-friendly perspective, and also from a technology perspective.
Brendan, I'm wondering if you could share some additional examples, some things that perhaps have surprised you on your journey as you're continuing to reinforce your leadership position. Are there things that you've learned in your conversations that perhaps are food for thought?
Sure. If we look at it from the corporate perspective, it's very unique. We can take a look at corporations like Google and Microsoft and even Sony to that degree, who embrace the concept as part of their sustainability and corporate responsibility efforts. And it's not just Nissan electric vehicles, it's any electric vehicle, it's any plug-in that represents something that is bigger than just doing something internally. Its expression goes outside of the corporate offices and into the community. Google has free charging throughout its campus and has a massive effort to make sure that anyone that wants to drive an electric vehicle can charge it on their campus. Sony has introduced incentives for people to purchase electric vehicles, and Microsoft has chargers everywhere, and they encourage the adoption throughout their campuses. And those are just a few examples. If we look at a restaurant chain in Tennessee, Cracker Barrel, the CEO of the company believes so much in electric vehicles that they are now installing chargers throughout their locations, even though they know that the financial equation for them might not be that great, but the statement and what they believe in, it resonates. It resonates with their customers, who they are. They buy local sourced produce, etc. So it fits into both their philosophy as a company and their efforts towards sustainability and corporate citizenship.
So it sounds like there's almost a bit of a rub-off in terms of the equity that they gain in their brands through
Absolutely.
the work that you're in fact doing.
Absolutely.
And can you share a little bit more, just in terms of the equity exchange between, say, Nissan Leaf and your broader portfolio of vehicles? It sounds like many of the hand raisers hadn't previously been drivers of other Nissan cars. Have you seen any significant sort of exchange of equity in terms of the benefits that you're bringing?
Absolutely. And the actual stat is 83% of Nissan Leaf owners are brand new to the Nissan brand. That's extraordinary. Now, what they've done for us is they've helped us to educate that engagement piece. How, as a company, do we really want to engage with these customers actually before they actually make the purchase decision, then during the purchase decision, and then that relationship afterwards? With Nissan Leaf, it is an ongoing relationship. The vehicle tells us what the customers are doing through the interactive telematics system, and the customers routinely contact and tell us what they're doing. And we're trying to take those learnings to have a better relationship with our customers long term for all our vehicles.
For those that are listening to us today, I think they would love to hear any sorts of insights or key words of wisdom that you might be able to share as a change agent within Nissan. What are the things that they should be thinking about?
Stay positive, stay forthright. It's important, and we heard some of those comments today from other speakers, to have that visible leadership that can say this is something that the company is 100% 100% behind in all of our tactics and our strategies.
Brendan, you've shared a great deal of learnings with us today. I wanted to leave you with one last question that we're asking all of our IQ participants. If there was one thing that you were to share that you've learned either in the classroom or in the boardroom in terms of all of your work in this area, what would that be?
Listen. Listen to your employees, listen to your customers, listen to what they have to say. Because with this particular vehicle and this particular movement, and whether that movement is they're taking a very green focus, they're taking an environmental focus, they're taking off foreign oil, or they're just a technologist, listen.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, Brendan.
Thank you.